It's an ML Sports Take brought to you by St. Bonaventure University's online Masters in Journalism and Batavia Downs Gaming, and we thank select partner friends of the program as well, Dan Davidson Jr. and Sr., Mark L. Birdie, Bob Lindsley, and Matt Motika. So that's it. The Bonnies end the season. The Schmidt era is over. 17-17 overall. Super disappointing. Obviously, the A10 was brutal during the regular year. They made a fight of it in the A10 tournament. They win 2 games. And I got to be honest, this first half between Bonnies and Dayton, it set basketball back about 35, 40 years. But it was kind of like, all right, I kind of like this low-scoring thing. This is where we need to be if you're Bonaventure. Like, you're going to have to get out there in a backyard fight. Dayton hadn't played in a week. You're familiar with the court and the rims and all this stuff. Dayton hadn't played there and all that. But I didn't feel great about it as the game went on. I felt worse and worse and worse about it in the second half because, and I know we can talk about a lot of things. We can talk about the officiating, which I thought they were horrendous the entire game, both ends, inconsistent. Guys going up one end like this, call a foul, the next time they don't. A lot of cheap non-fouls, or fouls away from the ball, stupid stuff. I mean, Mitchell got away with a couple of big pushes, and then at the other end, Dayton didn't, and then obviously the big one was, late in the game, and I mean, Bennett just completely throws it, his whole arm and elbow into the throat of Buddy, and it's like, what the hell, man? I mean, how do you miss that? That should have been at least 2 free throws, maybe even an ejection, and could have changed the course of the entire game. That was absolutely ridiculous. Dayton, I do think, though, that they execute better. They had 13 turnovers somehow to Bonaventure's 12, but it felt like Bona's turnovers were 20, and they were in the biggest spots, and the miscues, like even in the beginning, in the second half. I mean, McCormick, the color guy, I mean, my God, you got to either pick one side or the other. He's like, well, the last game it was, you got to go into Mitchell, you got to work it inside out. And then in this game it was, more of talking about Mitchell, and then it was, well, he's tired. Which one is it? Which one is it? Do you want him to go to him or not? Or is he tired when he gets it? I mean, he missed a bunch of cheapies in the second half. And again, this is not about one player. McCormick also said, like, oh, well, Bonnies, they play like 7, 8 guys, and, no, they don't. They play 6 guys, and they hope that Joe G gives you 8 minutes and maybe gets 1 rebound. Well, he played 4 minutes and gave you 1 rebound. He's just not ready for these games. Osasui, I thought, was terrific. Awesome energy, 8 points. Pretty good on D overall. He did make that really great offensive move along the baseline up to the rim. But I thought Dayton just did a really good job in the first half, and really as the second half went on, they get better as the game goes on with figuring out the mismatch and executing at the rim. That's just the bottom line. Bonaventure also didn't cover the 3 well at all during this game. That really hurt them. The big guy makes 2 key threes. Mitchell was late on those, where I thought maybe there could have been a switch there, right? Schmidt, why is Mitchell on him? They get worked off the ball. Like, that's an Osasui deal. Or even I don't care if it's a 6'5", 6'6" forward put on him. I mean, Bunaway had a bad game, but my God, I mean, he's a better option than Mitchell to at least switch off, to put hands up in somebody's face. I mean, you cannot give Dayton open threes as the shot clock is working down, and that happened over and over and over again. Bennett, you need a big basket, he's going to be there for you. 27 points. He's a tremendous player. I did not like that shove. That was absolutely brutal, and just there's no spot for that in basketball at all. 2 competitors, they were jawing at each other, but you can't just up and go at somebody's throat and face. I mean, that's bullshit. And the refs missing that in the wide open court is completely inexcusable. That's not the only thing. The refereeing was shaky at best on both ends. We know Charles missed those free throws. I could not believe that. I mean, the surefire free throw shooter making those every time all year, and then he gets up there and misses it. And Dan Davidson brought up a point with the reverse David Messiah Capers game, right? And I thought that was a perfect text to send me tonight. Charles at the corner, I actually looked down at my phone for a second, and I didn't know who had the ball. Well, I heard who had the ball, and I kind of looked up, and I was like, he's way deep, and all of a sudden the shot was missed, and there was a whistle, and I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to double check, like, was that him? Like, is it too good to be true that it was him got fouled with this thing? And then it was bing, 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 brick, brick, brick. Just a killer part of the game, killer. Bonaventure was horrible offensively for good chunks of the game, and then when they start to get going and they start getting on those runs, like, they get confident, and it's a tie game, and then they lose the lead, and then they're down 1 or 2, and then they lose, they can't get it to the tie game again or overtake the lead. They're down 5, then they're 2, then it's 4, then it's 1, then they're down 7, then it's 4, then they're down 9, and then it's 4. And it's like, my God, is there ever going to be a point when you're up 2 to 4 points, you just take control of the game? and they just couldn't. And then down the stretch, just again, egregious decision making, egregious, just an inability to like get a big rebound in this game was a big one. And Bonaventure struggled with that a lot this year too. I mean, when the game gets down there in the offense, they have to make that one shot, right? When it gets down to 2-3 minutes and it's like a jumper, mid-ranger, you know, if they're not going to get to the free throw line, you got to make that one shot. You got to make that one jumper, and you know, it's killer. And I think you could throw everything out into the garbage and then say, bottom line, like they missed 10 free throws. You know, Bonaventure usually makes at least 6 or 7 more. Well, guess what? They make 6 more, they win the game. And, you know, McCormick, again, talking about like the tired legs thing, but Larry Bird always used to say, like, you want to shoot free throws when you are tired. That's why he would always shoot free throws way after hard practices. The hardest practices of all, he'd go shoot 100 free throws. Because he knew late in games, the grind, he'd make most of them when he was tired and his legs were brutal. So, you know, it is what it is. I think the Bonnies did show some fatigue today, but that's not an excuse. That's not why they lost. You know, poor execution, mismatches. I thought Dayton did a decent job, you know, out coaching in terms of the first half. In some spots, this was, you know, I mean, God almighty, the Bonnies had 8 steals today. You know, the Bonnies had 8 steals and Dayton had 7. So, you know, a tough game. And I went about, what, a month and a half, 2 months telling everybody out there, like, oh man, I can't wait till the season ends. And then here I am in the second half, like holding on to whatever I can to have the season go on, right? It's just kind of what we do, right? We ride the roller coaster up, down, trials, tribulations, brutal stuff, and who knows who's coming back. I mean, just typical NIL portal horse shit, like who's coming back, brand new head coach, new era, who's coming back, players, NIL, all this stuff. You know, we'll go into an off season and see. I'll probably do a couple content pieces the next couple of weeks, but you can still get a hold of me for NFL draft, Bills, Sabres making their playoff charge, start of baseball season, all the golf majors, horse racing season, everything that goes on all year round. Just subscribe to the channel at ML Sports Platter. And of course, bravo, Mark Schmidt. Thanks for everything. Unbelievable. Nearly 20 years with all the accolades, all the awards, all the amazing moments and memories, the great players who came through, the class that he showed in the community, Coaches versus Cancer, just great success, saving the program, right? I mean, would we have just had 20 years of basketball in D2 without Mark Schmidt? I don't know. You know, maybe we're not talking about A10 tournaments right now without Mark Schmidt. I don't know. So he'll be missed clearly. And, you know, they gave it a run. They played hard for him. But this game was just Dayton, a little bit more execution. Bonaventure missing free throws. I thought matchups, Dayton won every big matchup, first half, second half, when they could get somebody, you know, somebody would change, and Bonner couldn't pick it up. And, you know, Dayton's got that big, they got a big matchup down low with a big forward on a guard. But bye-bye. Just one of many examples. So thanks for watching all year. Mike Lindsley here. Subscribe to the channel at ML Sports Platter. We thank St. Bonaventure University's Online Masters in Journalism, Batavia Downs Gaming, and select partner friends of the show, Mark Alberti, Matt Motika, Dan Davidson Jr. and Sr., and Bob Lindsley. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.